Surprised to see me, I guess, right? Finally, I made a couple calls, and this podcast is now mine. No more Dave Eddy, no more Jason. It's the handsome guy, Nick Z. Welcome, everybody. We are back with another iteration here of the On Deck Circle podcast, brought to you by Fantasy Six Pack. I'm just kidding. My guy, Jason, is about to come in probably about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jason. Whoa, look at that.
Nick, nice to see you. I'm glad to see they are finally giving you the spotlight that you deserve.
I'm clearly the face of this podcast, and that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Like, because you guys bring the stats, but I bring just the appealing looks, and that's really all I need.
Yeah, you bring the moxie. I mean, I'm glad you're getting.
I have 2 degrees, and now I have this. This is all I need.
Exactly.
Now I guess we have to bring in Dave soon, but let's just wait. Yes, I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
The Pedro jersey. It's got the 99 All-Star patch.
That's a good-looking jersey.
It's a hell of a jersey. It doesn't have the name, which is fine because it's like the batting practice one.
Sure.
Biggest pet peeve of any Yankee jersey I see or Red Sox jersey is when the people have the home jersey, so the White Sox jersey or the pinstripe white Yankee one with a name on it. Because you don't have a name on it.
That's not real.
It's all about the team. It's not about the player.
That's right. I mean, when you're wearing a Red Sox 45 jersey, I'm pretty sure we know
you fucking know who it is.
Yeah.
Bring him in, I guess. There he is.
Well, hey guys.
There he is. Welcome.
Hostile takeover.
I know it was rough. I got a phone call a couple minutes ago saying that Nick was taking my spot, and
Thanks, Joe.
It was a much more handsome intro, so I do appreciate that. But now that you guys have had your fun, let's get into a little bit of the actual news. How's that sound?
We'll do it.
All right, so let's start off here. Jasson Dominguez, 159th in my Dynasty rankings, made his pro debut Monday in the Florida Complex League. And for those of you saying, well, what the fuck is the Florida Complex League? It is what used to be known as the Gulf Coast League, if that makes a little more sense to you. So, Jasson Dominguez, much hyped, switch hitting, just beast of a man, goes 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Most places you look, are going to grade the Martian, as a lot of people like to call him, above average in all 5 of his tools, which is a big reason he's so heralded. And, of course, doesn't hurt that, he's in the Yankees farm system, and that's always a team that, is in the forefront of news and, gets an extra layer of, hype with that. But now that, Dominguez has actually played a real baseball game in the U.S., we can say with 99% certainty that he actually is a real person that exists.
He's not a Martian.
Right. What are your guys' thoughts on Dominguez? And I guess however you want to entertain that question.
One word: overhyped. I think at one point last season, I think it was MLB or Pipeline tweeted out, "This is the next Babe Ruth, Trout, and Mantle."
Yeah, that was bad.
That's pretty big hype to live up to as a 17-year-old, and not even taking an at bat stateside. So you already got the weight of the world on your shoulders for this poor kid. But no, he's great. As far as I can tell, the thing that we've been seeing is jacked monster in the batting box.
He looks like Aaron Donald.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He really
those
does.
Videos that were surfacing. It's insane. But with those big muscles comes a great bat speed, so that's good. Switch hitter. I'm glad he's finally stateside. We can see what this kid's all about.
Right.
And let's be realistic. Majority of these prospects, they don't live up to these hypes of being the next Babe Ruth and whatnot. So, I hope he doesn't fail. Obviously, everyone to see the best with this kid, but let's just slow down on the hype on this kid a little bit until we see some full seasons, at least in even the low levels. I'm just excited to see this kid get to the stateside, see what he can do. And I actually tanked and drafted Jasson in the startup in 30 Rock. So that's how much I got a little bit of. I think I took him pretty high in that startup, unfortunately, because I was just so involved in the hype. But I'm glad to see him stateside.
Exciting.
So, yeah, exciting.
I would like to petition that you change your name to the 2 S's in Jasson.
Yeah, man. What's up with this guy? I got beef with him with his name spelling. What's
That's kind of messed up. Obviously, good. I already hate him.
Here, hold on. I got this.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Jasson Beckner.
Yeah, there we go.
So I already hate him. Yankees. I listened to an interview. It was Heim Bloom, probably like right after he signed, right after he joined the Sox, and he said, "Are you worried about Jasson Dominguez?" And he said, "Well, that's a long ways down the road. I am worried about Wander Franco, though." So at least in his mind, he sees Wander Franco above him prospect-wise, and I feel everyone else should. But I hope he's good, but like you said, Jason, like he's not gonna be Trout because there's just just in general any comps on any prospect is completely unfair to play. Like he doesn't think he's that good, does he? Like the actual player.
I don't know, man. I've never really. I don't think I've ever heard the man speak.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. That's another thing too, is there just hasn't been a lot of coverage coming.
It's kind of weird
from Dominicans. So I mean, it's hard to say exactly, other than just some snippets here and there on Twitter that some of the scouts tweet out. But there's not much surrounding him as far as coverage.
The nickname, The Martian. I really hope he didn't give himself that nickname because that's even worse.
I mean, it'll be interesting. Any prospect at all, Wander Franco included, but I guess I'd always take the under, on a guy's career, just because you see so many of these guys fail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, he clearly has every opportunity, and he has a skill set to be as good as, all those guys mentioned. But, you've got to have so much, break your way.
Everything needs to go right.
Yeah, on top of being, an amazing player. But just for shits and giggles, with this guy and the next guy that we're going to talk about, I just wanted to run out there and tell you at his peak season what I think, you could see from him. Does that sound fun?
Yeah.
Okay, so peak season, this doesn't mean, the high in any particular category. I just see this as maybe being like, his ceiling of an all-around season. So I could see 100 runs, 30 homers, 95 RBI. So that's solid right there. That's like MVP-ish type numbers. Batting average, I'm a little bit suspect on. 270 is where I could see that coming in at. So not terrible, obviously, but he's not a 300 hitter to go with all these numbers. 350 on base. That's a solid number. 520 slug, which is not top of the league, but still solid. 870 OPS, which might be a little on the short side, but still a solid number. And I could see him getting 15 bags in that season as well. So if you got that in a season,
that's good.
I think that you would chalk that up as a astronomically massive win.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's move on here. Let's get to the next topic here, and it's another prospect, guy we've kind of talked about a little bit when we talked about Kelnick, just because I brought him up. But Julio Rodriguez, aka the J-Rod Show, he got promoted to Double-A. So that's pretty exciting, especially for someone like me. That's my prospect crush. Just to give you an example of the difference I have him currently, between him and Dominguez, I've got Julio 41st in my rankings compared to 159 for Dominguez. And obviously part of that is, the difference in the ETA. He's 2-3 years ahead of Dominguez, probably. But Julio Rodriguez, or like I said, what we like to call him here at Fancy Six Pack, the J-Rod Show, got the promotion to Double-A Arkansas. He was absolutely lighting up the high A, tune of 325. .410 on base, .581 slug, so .992 OPS, just under 1,000. So, I mean, that's just fantastic. 28 games down there. He had 6 dongs and got 5 bags. So that's a nice little bit of power and speed. I think it's unlikely that we see the J-Rod show at the big league level in 2021. But the promotion itself here is just great to see. Kind of puts him potentially a promotion away from the big leagues at this point. Though it's likely he would go to AAA, but AA to the big leagues is not unheard of by any stretch. So right now Mariners boast 2 of my favorite prospects in the game with J-Rod and Noelvi Marte. Go along, of course, with that dumpster fire Jared Kelenic. But kind of similar to the Dominguez question, just kind of open-ended a little bit of, now that we're getting closer to seeing, Julio Rodriguez, what are you guys' thoughts there?
He's going to be better than Kelenic, right? Like,
I mean, flip a coin, I suppose.
I was actually going to pose that question to you guys, but
yeah, I kind of gravitate more towards Julio. Maybe it's the devil you don't know. Like we've already seen Jared. So it's one of those things like I just said, the hype on these guys is way too high. And it's like our own fault. It's literally our fault. The industry just like puts such like a pedigree on these people that don't deserve any pedigree at all. As soon as you go to the big leagues, you need to be like wipe the slate clean because they haven't shown anything. And I don't think they'll put him in AAA. Like I don't think we'll see him this year, but I think he stays in AA the whole year and then starts hopefully next year in the big leagues, right?
No, probably not. I mean, the odds. I mean, I don't see Seattle, thinking that they're a title contender next year. So he'll stay in. Odds are he would start
in AAA.
Exactly, start the season in AAA, and then once the Super 2 passes, then you start to see him come up. Would be my best guess.
Unless they pay up for some pitching or something in the offseason. They're like, oh, let's win now. But
I mean, maybe. We'll see. But to go back to your point, you were asking about, who are you higher on, Kelenic or Julio Rodriguez? And, and this is where my rankings and, other people will tell you the same thing. The rankings are not like a gospel. They're very much just, in a vacuum, just a broad, spectrum. And I think I would rather have Julio Rodriguez personally, and part of that could just simply be, we do have a little bit of a sour taste from Kelenic. 6 months ago, I guess I don't know. I'm super high on Julio Rodriguez, but I probably would have said Kelenic just because, you knew we were going to see him soon, and Julio Rodriguez, we didn't know what we were going to get from him exactly. But I've got Kelenic in my rankings 25th. And I've got Julio Rodriguez 41st. So not a massive difference, but, the difference between 25 and 41 is a lot greater than, 100 and, 120 or something. So,
but the EPA probably played a big part in that.
Exactly. So when it comes to that, you got to figure, you get about a year more of Kelenic than you get of Julio Rodriguez, which doesn't sound like a lot on the surface, but when I look at these rankings in a 5 to 8 year window, it's basically saying, would you rather have 80% of Julio Rodriguez or 100% of Kelenic? Well, give me 100% of Kelenic over 80. Right now that could change. But I guess if it was trade value, if I was trading guys that are in that same neighborhood. So if I was trading a JD Martinez, for example, I've got him 39th, and I had the choice of Kelenic or Rodriguez, I would go against my rankings and I would take Julio Rodriguez, even though, looking at him, you would think that Kelenic would be the guy. But, like I said, at this point, it's kind of flip a coin.
Yeah. I mean, depending on, if Kelenic, at some point he's going to come back up and stuff. So I think looking next year, I mean, depending on how he, handles double A pitching, this could be the number one prospect entering 2022.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. That's some things to say about that. But I mean, he's got a ton of power. We've seen it already in the low minors. So I'm glad that he's finally getting up into these more advanced, obviously, the rookie ball and the single A and even the high A, the pitching can be a little suspect. Some of these kids are like 18. I know he's only 20, but I'd like to see him, face some of these more advanced pitching and see if he can make those adjustments, because we've seen it before. We've seen guys, they dominate the low minors, they get up to these higher levels, and then the production kind of falls off. But I'm not saying that's going to happen with him. I'm curious to see if he's able to make those adjustments. And I'm still going to lean Kelenic just a little bit on this one for obviously long-term reasons. But I think J-Rod also has that ceiling that can surpass Kelenic. So I mean, I'm like I said, like you guys, I'm curious to see what he can do now that he's up in the a little bit higher levels of the minors.
For sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I expect that Franco will lose his prospect status this year.
Yep.
We'll see about Kelenic, but I've got Kelenic
so.
20. I got Kelenic 25th. I got Wander 26th, and then we drop all the way down to Julio is my third dynasty prospect.
Right.
He's at 41st, like I said. So, assuming Kelenic comes up before too long and he loses his status, he jumps up to number one.
Right.
Number one for me.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
So I guess we'll have to see how that one goes, huh, boys?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be fun to see him come up, though. I guess in a perfect world, it'd be fun to see him come up in September and just maybe not, dominate, but just to come up and play real well, just to where, you almost, want to see if he does force their hand to make the opening day roster, which seems almost impossible. I don't know what he could possibly do to make the Mariners give up that year of service time, but would be fun to have a conversation, about it.
Or at least make an appearance maybe in the Arizona Fall League this year. That'd be nice to see.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's very possible. All right, Mr. Backwards Hat Wearer, go ahead and take us through our advanced stat of the week.
Yeah, so this week we are looking at hard hit rate or hard hit percentage. This is kind of nice to look at because it's generally an easy correlation to hitting the ball. Hitting the ball hard is a great correlation to getting hits. You hit the ball hard, it's going to usually find a hole somewhere, whether it's a massive home run or just like a sharp line drive on a ground ball through a shift. It puts more pressure on the defense as well. So, as you know, that's kind of why the hard hit rate can be a useful stat. And so hard hit percentage is StatCast defined it as a hard hit ball is one that's hit with an exit velocity of 95 miles per hour or higher. And the player's hard hit rate is simply showing the percentage of batted balls that were hit at 95 miles or higher. So when you look at the league leaders, obviously some obvious ones jump off the page here. Aaron Judge is the leader. No shocker there at 58.5% hard hit rate. And then, not too shocking, but again, like we talked earlier, someone's new to these league leaders is Ohtani at 56.6%. One that kind of shocked me was actually Salvador Perez is there at 56.2%.
He's had one hell of a year.
Yeah, big time. And then, of course, another no-brainer, Acuna at 56.1%. And then another one that's shocking, but not too shocking. I mean, Devers is a young guy that's making appearances.
Hey, look at you! Look at you, baby!
I was just waiting.
I know.
He hit a home run. I think it was Sunday. Absolute bomb.
Oh yeah,
he hammers the ball when he hits it.
Great young third baseman for sure. And so those are the league leaders. And if you look at the league worst, some other no-brainers here. Yeah, it's usually the same guys we look at every week in the bottom of the league. And it's David Fletcher, the worst, which is actually kind of shocking. He's not a power hitter, but the discrepancy between last to second to last is you're looking at almost 9% difference because David Fletcher's at 15.5%, and they jump all the way up, which. There's no shocker, but I mean Kevin Newman here at 24.1.
Every week with Kevin Newman. Yeah. I hope Kevin Newman doesn't watch this show. I'm gonna block him on Twitter. Actually, I'm gonna block Kevin Newman on Twitter.
Yeah, him and Miles Straw's making a recurring appearance as well. Yeah. He seems to be at the league bottom as well for a lot of these categories.
Same thing with Jerks and Profar. He's been on here a few times.
Yep, Miles Straw 25.1%, Willie Castro 27.8%.
Don't do my boy dirty like that. You could have skipped him.
He's another one that's kind of shocking just to see him at the bottom. I mean, I'm not saying that he's should be at the top, but I think he'd be more in the middle.
He's had a terrible season.
Yeah, he has actually kind of underwhelmed. So
yeah, he's been terrible. But he kind of set that up because last year he had such a good short-term stint that it wasn't it wasn't going to be something that could carry over. I mean, he batted like 330 last year, and that wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. But the one thing that I want to point out on the hard hit percentage is literally just give you a couple numbers here, which just indicate to you, once you get to that magical 95, and like, why 95 miles an hour? Well, at 95 miles an hour, you start to see some drastic differences in, some stats that we're used to here. So on balls hit higher than 95 miles an hour exit velocity, the batting average on those is 524. So if you're hitting the ball over 95, you're getting a hit at least half the time. On hits under 95, you're batting 219. So, I mean, drastic difference there. The slugging percentage on balls over 95 is over 1,000. It's 1,047. And then on the weaker hit balls under 95, slugging percentage at 259.
Pitiful.
It's just, huge difference. And then same thing, we go with the WOBA. Hard hit, 653, and under 95 miles an hour, 206. So, I mean, you're talking, drastic difference there. So that's why, hard hit percentage is one that, I talk about all the time with buy, sell, hold, because it gives you an idea of, not only how well are guys seeing the ball, but how well they're hitting the ball. And, when you can see when you get into, anyone that's average or above average, you can just see what a difference that can make, in their stats there. So let's get to the first here of our buy, sell, hold.
Is that a typo?
No typo. We're per Nick's suggestion. We're going to talk about Mr. Juan Soto here. Now, Juan Soto has definitely got an interesting mix here. If you just simply look at his StatCast, he is elite almost entirely across the board. And then, his real life, the fantasy stats that we're counting, they're underwhelming considering the name, and like I said, they don't match up with the StatCast. So Juan Soto, third in my dynasty rankings. So, they're talking about a big boy here. 97th percentile ex WOBA, 97th percentile in ex batting average. And that starts to become weird when, you're in the 97th percentile and you're batting, I think this says 244 on my notes, but I don't feel like that's right. I feel like he's batting 274. He's batting 274, so my bad. But either way, 274, it's not like it's bad, but ex batting average of 314. So he should be batting, much closer or above 300. And his BABIP is right where you'd expect it to be. League average is around 300-ish. He's at 306. So, he's just getting a little bit unlucky to some extent, but the BABIP doesn't show that. On base percentage, he's at 400. That's absolutely phenomenal. Anytime you get, over 350, you start approaching 400. That's a fantastic on base. And he's got an xWOBA of 419. So right in line there. And why? He's 98th percentile in walk percentage. So, he draws his walks and, doesn't strike out, 86th percentile there in K percentage. But, you look at the 274 batting average. He's only got 8 home runs, only got 32 RBIs. He's got you 3 steals. So in the stats that you typically, most people for, fantasy purposes are looking at, they're very underwhelming. But the metrics show that he is still the same elite hitter that he's always been. So what would you guys say, buy, sell, hold, Juan Soto?
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. That's the problem is the buy, sell, hold on this one's almost too easy. But it is fun to point out a little bit because, like I said, you look at his stats and, you're not impressed, but you look at the advanced stats and, you just waiting for those numbers to turn out. There's nothing indicating he's doing poorly. It's just, things just aren't going well right now for him.
Yeah, you just need to see who the owner is of Soto.
Yeah,
and then, in my main league, Jake Devereaux owns Soto. He knows this stuff. If he didn't know this stuff, you go get Soto. And you're like, well, he only has eight home runs. He's regressing. He's
Kyle
almost
Schwarber
30.
had that money this
20,
weekend.
22. Yeah. He's not even the best hitter on the Nationals because Kyle Schwarber just hit another home run.
25. I think, what is it, 16 in the last 18 games or something stupid?
It's absolutely ridiculous. But
don't break
Soto,
my heart.
buy him. That's it. The greatest advice I will ever give.
Sorry about that. Here, Jason. I'll change your name
I had to throw that in
as an apology.
No, that needs to stay forever.
Yeah, leave that in. Yeah, we'll leave that in for now until he debuts. Yeah.
All right.
I would put buy too, but unfortunately, like you said, I don't know how many people are going to be selling Soto, so I put him as a hold for now. He's still having success, like you said. Is Statcast page data is off the chart. I can't still figure out where, why the counting stats aren't there. I mean, we've just been.
Does it?
I know. Obviously, he's still like in the high ends of the walking, but he's still walking less. If that's shocking enough. He was walking 21%. He's down to like 18 or 17%. And then also then he's hit the ball.
Though, man.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that it's alarming. It's just crazy that you go, you see some declines anywhere, and it's just like, what? He's still only, still walking in like the 90th percentile or something. And another thing that's kind of alarming to me, which is nothing, out of the ordinary, but he's already been caught 4 times stealing out of 7 attempts, which
wow.
I thought that was kind of shocking.
Yeah,
but other than that, I mean, his advanced stats are just all there, and career numbers are looking the same. Like I say, I'd say buy, but I don't know what Soto owner is selling because obviously everything's there except for the counting stats. So
yeah. All right, this might be a familiar name here to you, Jason. But next up, we're going to talk a little Kyle Gibson for you. Kyle Gibson has had quite a good start to the season. We'll run through the real life stats here first. 15 games he started. He's gone 90 innings. So, basically 6 innings to start. He's 6-0 if anyone gives a flying shit. ERA of 2, whip of 101. So, absolutely phenomenal. His xERA is 3.26. So, shows that his ERA is definitely due for some regression. But even the 3.26, xERA is still pretty fantastic. xFIP of 3.88 kind of backs that up a little bit too. 74 strikeouts in 90 innings, not spectacular, but not killing you. CSW percentage just under the elite mark of 30%. He sits at 29.4. His BABIP is 296, so right about where you expect it. X-batting average is 232, so again, right about in line with what you'd expect. The metrics will surprise you just a little bit. He's a little bit better than you'd think. 78th percentile xWOBA, 78th percentile xERA, 88th percentile though in barrels. So he's limiting that super hard contact. 29th percentile in K percentage. So like I said, not really getting you great numbers there, but 66th percentile in walk percentage. So not hurting himself with getting guys on base. Doesn't throw very hard. 28th percentile fastball velocity. Curveball doesn't have a crazy high spin rate. 41st percentile there. So with all this, spider tack and all this nonsense going on, he doesn't seem like a guy that you might worry about because his spin rate isn't that high to begin with. So probably makes sense for Jason here to take the lead on this one. So what do you think, Jason? Buy, sell, hold on Mr. Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, if you want to check out my piece this week, I actually wrote up. Go ahead and I'm going to say sell Gibson. I like Gibson a lot. I mean, he's a dependable veteran. You can generally keep your ratios pretty low. I mean, this year it's obviously keeping them super low. However, the strikeout numbers aren't quite where I like to see my starting pitchers. He's not that power arm. He pitches the contact. He's only striking out 20% of the batters he faces. He's only had 1 game this season with double-digit strikeouts and only 2 games with more than 8 strikeouts. And since 2018, he only has 3 games with double-digit strikeouts. And I know you said, a lot of people don't care about wins, but there's a lot of leagues that do play with wins. And he only got 21 wins since 2019. And then 6 of those are from this season.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's not talk about last year. It was absolute disaster of a season. Right now, this is currently his best season he's having since, I think, like 2017 or 2018. So, to me, he's a clear sell-high candidate. Like I said, he's got a 2 ERA. He's never had an ERA below 3 in his career. Clearly, And somehow he's got 6 wins on Texas Rangers. Don't ask me how, but he's got 6 wins already.
He's got half
How
the
many
wins.
wins do they have? 30?
Yeah, exactly.
So sell him.
He's also going to get traded.
Possibly.
You would assume.
It would make sense, especially if he keeps this up.
That could affect, I don't know where his wins are coming, or if they're at home, or if that's like a pitcher-friendly park. But he is going to get traded.
No, not in Arlington. It's not. It's a hitter-friendly park.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Even their new one?
I'm pretty damn sure. I mean, Jason, if you want to look something
up.
I'm
not positive. But I know that they were still touting it as even with the roof closed, it's pretty.
I mean, I would love for the Red Sox to get him because they have some pitching problems.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but Seattle's going to trade for him, and then they're calling up J-Rod.
And then they're going to call up J-Rod.
Yep, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. He's a Mariner.
But yeah, I would sell him. He's got to be over 30 at this point, right?
Oh yeah,
33.
Yeah. So if you're like in the hunt, like top 5 team in your league, I'd keep him just to hopefully it works out, because you're not going to get someone that's going to help you now if you trade him. But if you're like a bottom of the league guy, and you might be able to get like a decent prospect if you're trading him to a team that is good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, most of these always kind of depend on, where your team sits. So, if you own him and you're competing, obviously you're holding him. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to sell him unless somebody else is coming after him crazy aggressive, but then you're just going to help the guy beat you theoretically.
Exactly.
If you're a crappy team, then, you're looking for guys that aren't part of your future, to move. And, he seems as though he's, probably having a career year. So if you can capitalize on that, yeah, you're not going to get, top 10 prospect, probably not a top 50 prospect, but, you might be able to snag someone that you're higher on than, somebody else. So, kind of depends on where you sit, but overall he's probably more of a sell than anything, So let's get into some final thoughts. I will say that what I want to see is I want people to leave comments down below and let us know who should do the intro going
next
forward.
week.
Yeah. Do you like my boring ass repeating the same stuff
I'm leaving
every
my
week?
comment right now.
Oh, okay. Or do
right.
you want to see the heartthrob up there glisten on the screen all by himself? And in case you forget what that looks like, let me just.
I will be getting a haircut this weekend.
Even more reason.
So that's what it looks. That's what it looks like. Just one more time.
That's fine. I need to bring up just how bad Garrett Cole is.
Yes, it's bad.
The Yankees need to see if they can void the contract, because he's a cheater and he's absolutely garbage. Right? I'm mad that Garrett Richards has been bad, but that's 1 year for $10 million. This is Garrett Cole is serious money, and he's a fraud. Absolute
like a real Red Sox fan.
Yes.
Well, I guess without saying too much, I know Jason's working on a piece as far as basically pitchers and what kind of season they've had in the first half, and who maybe to look at trying to buy and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes in Jason's piece coming out here in a couple weeks.
Stay tuned for that for sure.
So that's all I'll say, I guess. I probably said a whole lot, but you get the gist. It'll be a good, interesting piece. It'll be very advanced stats driven.
Can't wait to read it.
Well, yeah. So it'll be good. I'm sure Jason's going to do a fantastic job on it. So I know it's in the works.
Yeah, my final thought is, we won't see you guys till next week. So everyone else have a happy holiday weekend, happy 4th of July, and then we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, don't let Yosemite Dave down now.
Exactly.
Yo, those are good, man.
You like my rendition of the Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah, I'm trying to get everyone to do that for their podcast so we can put it on the Instagram, but you're the only one that's sending it. So
I'm the only one that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm open to suggestions. If you guys have anything you'd like to see for next week,
all right, dude.
By all means, let me know. Otherwise, I'll kind of pick what tickles my fancy.
Sweet.
Back up,
All
Terry.
right.
Back up, Terry.
See you, boys. Have fun.
All right.
Be safe.